Hey guys, this is the last video of the midterm exam review. So after you watch this, you'll be good to go for the midterm. Let's go ahead and get started. Number 16 says, in the drawer of your refrigerator, you have 7 red apples, 4 green apples, and 2 yellow apples. What is the probability that an apple you get at random is not red? So remember, probability is what you want to get over what you could get. So we want to find out the probability of getting an apple that is not red. Well, since there are 7 red apples, 4 green apples, and 2 yellow apples, there are 6 apples that are not red. And there are a total of 13 apples. So the 6 over 13, or 0.46, or 46%. So there's a 46% that you'll pull an apple that is not red. Number 20, we're solving the equation 6 over 5.1 is equal to 12 over x. Another proportion, so go ahead and cross multiply. 6 times x, and that'll be equal to 12 times 5.1. So 6x is equal to 61.2 divided by 6. And you get x is equal to 10.2. Number 23, we have 2 triangles. In the figure below, we have triangle ABC is similar to triangle WXY. And we need to find the length of WX. So we're looking for that right there. Well, since these triangles are similar, we know that the ratios of the corresponding side lengths are going to be equal. So if I take the ratio of 5.5 to 3.3, I know it'll be equal to the side we're looking for, x over 2.1. So now all I have is just a proportion, again, cross multiply, and I get 3.3x is equal to 5 times 2.1, which is 11.55. Divide both sides by 3.3, and I get x is equal to 3.5 centimeters. Number 24 says at Niagara Falls, the amount of water going over the falls is approximately 150,000 gallons per second. How many gallons of water go over the falls in 1 minute? So we are given the rate 150,000 gallons per 1 second. And we need to convert this into gallons per minute. So I need to convert seconds to minutes. Since we know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute, I'm going to multiply by 60 seconds over 1 minute. This will cancel out my seconds. I'm left with gallons per minute. So I just have 150,000 times 60, which is 9 million gallons per minute. Number 4, I have what is 60% of 20? Again, I have a PQR, P times Q equal to R. P is my percent, Q is my original quantity, and R is my result. I know that my percentage is 60, so I have 0.6. And then we have what is, so I know that's I don't know my result, so I have 0.6 times 20 equal to R. Well, 0.6 times 20 is 12, so R is 12. Number 27, I am solving the equation negative 3x plus 5 is equal to 7x minus 15. In this equation, I have variables on both sides. I want them on one side, so I will subtract 7x from both sides. That'll give me negative 10x plus 5 is equal to negative 15. Subtract 5 from each side. I have negative 10x equals negative 20. Divide both sides by negative 10. And I have x is equal to 2. For the next two problems, I need to write the slope-intercept form of the equation of each line. So I need to put these equations in y equals mx plus b form. So I need to solve each of these equations for y. So I need to get y alone. So the first one, I need to subtract 3x from both sides. And I have negative 2y is equal to negative 3x minus 8. Divide everything by negative 2. And I get y is equal to 3 halves x plus 4. The next one I'm doing the same thing, solving for y. This time I'm going to subtract 7x first. So I have 11y is equal to negative 7x minus 53. Divide by 11. Divide everything by 11. So I have y is equal to negative 7 over 11x minus 53 over 11. For number 3 and 4, I'm writing the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line that passes through the given points. So I need to write an equation of a line in y equals mx plus b form. That's what I want to end with. I can do that by using my slope-intercept equation, the one we just wrote, or my point-slope form, which is the y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. And I'm going to do the first one using the slope-intercept and the second one using the point-slope. But for both of these, the first thing we need to do is to find the slope. So I will use my slope formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 to find my slope. So substitute my y values in. So y2 minus y1 will be negative 1 minus negative 2 over x2 minus x1, so 0 minus 2. Negative 1 minus negative 2 is 1. 0 minus 2 is negative 2, so my slope is negative 1/2. So I'm going to use my slope in one of these points, and I'm going to substitute into my equation, my y equals mx plus b equation. Since I have a 0 in this point, that's just going to be an easy one to use, so I will use that point. So I have y equals mx plus b, but my y value is negative 1. My slope is negative 1/2. With negative 1, I have an x value of 0, and I'm left with plus b, and that's what I'm solving for. So if negative 1 is equal to negative 1/2 times 0, which is 0, so I have b. So b is equal to negative 1. So that gives me, for my equation, y is equal to negative 1/2 x minus 1. In my second equation, again, I have to find my slope. So m is equal to y2 minus y1. So in this case, 4 minus negative 5 over x2 minus x1. So 1 minus negative 1. 4 minus negative 5 is 9 over 1 minus negative 1, which is 2. So my slope is 9 over 2. So I'm going to use my point-slope equation. So I need a point to substitute in. I am going to use negative 1, negative 5, and my slope of 9/2, and I'm going to substitute it in. So y minus y1, so y minus negative 5, and that'll be equal to my slope, 9/2, times x minus negative 1. We'll go ahead and do some simplifying. So I have y plus 5 is equal to 9 halves times the quantity of x plus 1. I'm going to have to distribute that 9 halves. So I have y plus 5 is equal to 9 halves x plus 9 halves. And my last step is to subtract 5 from both sides. And I get y is equal to 9 halves x. Then 9 halves minus 5 is negative 1 half. So my final equation is 9 halves x minus 1 half. Number 5, I need to graph the equation, and in number 6, I need to graph the equation. So I'm going to do that by getting y alone. So I'm going to solve for y. So first thing I'm going to do is subtract 7x from both sides. That gives me 3y is equal to negative 7x minus 15. Divide everything by 3. So the equation on my line is y is equal to negative 7/3 x minus 5. So in this case, my starting point is negative 5. So we'll go down to negative 5. And my slope is negative 7/3. So I will go, since I can't go down 7, I don't have room, I'm going to go up 7. So up 7. And to the left 3. And I get a point. Up 7 to the left 3. And that is enough points to get a line. So I'm just going to sketch a line through those points, kind of. And then that'll be my line. The next one, I have x plus 4y equals negative 4. And this one, I'm going to use the intercepts to graph it. So remember, I'm going to find the x and y intercept. So I'm going to substitute x equals 0 and find the y value goes with it. And then I'm going to substitute y equals 0 and find the x value that goes with that. So if x is equal to 0, that means I have 0 plus 4y equals negative 4. So divide by 4, and I have y is equal to negative 1. So that means that y, whenever x is 0, y is equal to negative 1. So that made the point 0, negative 1. So I can go ahead and sketch that on my graph. Now, if y is equal to 0, that gives me x plus 4 times 0 is equal to negative 4. So that just gives me x is equal to negative 4. So that makes the point negative 4, 0. So I can put a point at negative 4, 0. And then I can sketch my line through those 2 points. And it'll look like this. Now, it doesn't matter which method you use. You can use the one we used in the first graph or the second. Doesn't matter to me. Whichever one works best for you. The only time the intercept doesn't work well is whenever you have nasty intercepts, like a fraction or whatever, but usually it works pretty well. So now we have to sketch this linear inequality of y is less than negative 7/4 x plus 5. The first thing I need to do is check to see what kind of line I'm going to have. Since it is just less than, I know I'm going to have a dashed line. Oh, a dashed line. So now I'm just going to graph my dashed line. So I have a starting point of 5. My slope is negative 7/4, so I'm going to go down 7 and to the left 4. And then I just need to draw a dashed line. Now I need to decide where I'm going to shade. Sorry, guys. So since I have a less than, I need to shade the values that are less than my line, so I will shade below my line. So I will shade in this area. Again, if you are not sure, you can always use the test point. The best test point to use, as long as that is not in your line, is 0, 0. So if I substitute 0, 0 into my inequality, it should give me a true statement. Again, I'm going to sketch another linear inequality. I have y is greater than 4x minus 1. Again, the first thing I need to do, check my symbol, see what kind of line I'm going to use. Since it is just a greater than, I will again have a dashed or dotted line. My starting point is -1, so I will go down to -1. My slope is +4, so I'm going to rise 4, run 1. Or I can fall 4, or go down 4 and to the left 1. Go ahead, draw my dashed line. And now I need to decide where I'm going to shade. Since it is a greater than, I need to shade the y values that are greater than my line, so I will shade above my line. And like I said before, when in doubt, use a test point. Number 9, we're going to sketch another linear equality, except this one, y is not alone. So let's go ahead and solve for y. First thing you need to do is subtract 8x from both sides. I get -y is greater than -8x minus 3. Last thing you do, get rid of that negative, so I will divide everything by -1. Since I'm divided by a negative number, I need to flip my sign, so it is now y is less than 8x plus 3. So I have a starting point of 3. Since I cannot go up 8, I'm going to go down 8 and to the left 1. Since we just have a less than, I will have a dashed line again. And since it is less than, I will shade below my line. So we have another inequality sketch. Again, let's go ahead and solve for y first. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. So I have 3y is less than -x plus 9. Divide everything by 3. And I have y is less than -1/3 x plus 3. Since it is just a less than, I will have a dashed line. I will have a starting point at +3. I will have a slope of -1/3, so I can go down 1 and to the right 3, down 1 to the right 3, or I can go up 1 and to the left 3. Go ahead and draw my dashed line. And since I'm dealing with a less than, I will shade below my line. Alright guys, that concludes the midterm review. If you can do this review well, you will do well on the exam. Good luck, and I hope you guys do well.